It may be easy for you at times to say, I'm having a bad day, or life is hard, or I'm not sure how I'm going to make it after this or after that. Well, today we have a powerful testimony of life, of business, of resilience, of doing it his way. And the gentleman that you're going to be hearing from today is going to inspire, motivate, and definitely give you many reasons to go home with some homework, natural healing, business development, motivation, anything that you need to reset the button today to become the best version of yourself, to become the greatest that you can be. And I can promise you, one of, if not by far, the most inspirational person that we're going to have on the show. This is your Strategic Partner Show.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
Welcome to a brand new episode of your Strategic Partner Show. And you already know I gotta bring the crew, I gotta bring the team, I gotta bring the rock stars themselves. Your strategic partner from North Carolina, the one and only Takoya Carlton, bringing the motivation, the heat, and the amazing grace. Once he unmutes, you're about to hear it and you're about to be inspired. Ladies and gentlemen, say what's up to Takoya Carlton. What's up,
What's up, y'all? Hey, listen, I'm super excited, guys. Listen, thank you for telling me about the mute button, because I was sure about to go ahead and bring the fire and the heat. And I looked over and I said, my man already got me taken care of. So again, I appreciate you, sir. We're having an amazing week so far. And of course, we're getting back in the trenches. We've been out of pocket for the last couple of weeks. But again, it feels good to be back in the trenches. So, sir, we're super excited, ready for the day. And of course, we got an amazing guest. And we look forward to actually speaking to him.
Right on. From Massachusetts, the one you love to love, the rock star, the wisdom in a body, Debbie Peltola Salmons. What's up, Rockstar?
Hey, what's going on, you guys? Oh my gosh, it's, as we know, we say it all the time, Wednesday, favorite night of the week. But man, it's July's been amazing month. So much stuff going on. So glad to be here. So excited about our guest tonight. Guys, it's summer, right? We're off doing all kinds of things, but I just want to say to you guys that are watching, checking in, like, this is how you stay in it. Don't just go and check out for the whole summer, right? Because you're going to come out at the end of the summer ahead of everybody else. So glad for all of you guys here watching.
Love it. And from New Jersey, you've seen her before. You've heard her story before, but she's been a Rolling Stone traveling all around the world, from California, Beverly Hills, gone to Miami, shooting a reality show that's going to be airing on national television, going on speaking contests. She won an award. And I mean, so much more that is happening in the official owner, CEO of I Am Dreamable. Give it up to the one from New Jersey, Elizabeth Cousins. What's up, Rockstar? Man, that internet just ruined that whole intro. Rockstar, can you hear us okay? Your internet is going in and out a little. I felt your energy. I just didn't get to hear you. So if you want to check it out, and let's bring you right back on. And of course, the guest for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the one you've been waiting for. My man is so positive, so happy that he is an angel walking on earth. He is such a beacon of hope hanging out next to you. You feel the love, you feel the brotherly presence, you feel the healing that is happening. And many times He always says, yes, we'll figure it out later. And he is what you would call a true entrepreneur, a risk taker, someone who is filled with servitude, someone who defied all odds, no matter what doctors, no matter what negative naysayers, no matter what anybody has ever said. He said, I got this. We're going to be all right. Let go and let God. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring before you a master Reiki instructor, one of the most positive, happy people you'll ever have in your life, the one and only Anthony Panzarella. What's up, boss?
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for that brilliant introduction. I never know what to say, and it's all true, so I receive it all.
My man, I love that. I love your energy, and welcome to the show. I know we've it's been a long time coming. We should have had you here in a very, very long time, but there's usually the timing and there's timing, and today the timing is right on time. So we are so glad to have you in here. So Anthony, there are many people who may just not know about your full story, and whether it's a business side, whether it's the health and the healing side, whether it's just you as an amazing father that you are. If you could take a minute or two and just like shrink up your amazingness in a quick, here's who I am.
Yeah, amazing. So I'm Anthony Panzarella. I'm from the Philadelphia area, and I'm 43 years young. And my story is I was in corporate America for about 20 years. And along that time, I spent numerous roles in various aspects of business, sales, marketing, operations, research, intelligence, all of these beautiful roles in leadership. And about 2014, I was faced with a health crisis. I was running all over the world, living the big corporate lifestyle, making all the corporate money. And I was faced with a little health crisis. I call it today, but it was one of the biggest challenges of my life. And I got through it. It took me about a year and a half. I reduced my body weight over 130 pounds. I was diabetic. I reversed that. There was pain in my body. I reversed an addiction to pain pills at the time. There was so much going on that had to heal. And this was my first indicator that I was doing too much. So over the next couple of years, I discovered my gifts as a healer. I ran into Reiki through a church auction at the time. And I started healing my body, healing my mind. I started teaching about a year later when I got into the practice. And for about 5 years, I didn't get sick. I didn't even have to go to a doctor. I felt amazing. I was living amazing. I was living a healed life, teaching people about healing. Around 2019, I thought I was in the best shape of my life. Thought I was in the best spot career-wise of my life. I had all these healing centers open and places I was teaching, and I was at the pinnacle of my leadership career. And I got a call from a doctor on the way to a business trip that told me to go see the oncologist. Right? There was some things I was checking out, and it turned out to check out exactly with a diagnosis of cancer. So 2.5 years of chemotherapy and holistic healing and prayer, meditation, Reiki, yoga, nutrition, all the beautiful things that I have in my quiver had to come out. So healer, heal thyself. I put in my greatest effort ever, focusing that healing on myself. Now, 2.5 years later, I'm cancer-free, and I'm back in action. I'm back teaching and back doing sessions with people and transforming this beautiful planet.
Awesome deal.
That's what I'm up to.
Dude, first of all, kudos and congratulations. And I know you're sparking so many questions for many of us. In any form of cancer, just the word cancer is probably one of the scariest things that people can hear about their health. Like by default, the idea of expiration, the clock is ticking and it's a lot closer than I anticipated it to be. Can you walk us, and anybody that's listening right now that may be going through something, within that realm, how did you maintain the fortitude and the focus? Because, dude, even when, I remember many times you're like, I'm exhausted. I need to check out for a couple of days. But then you'll come back 4 days later and you have like the most positive, happy attitude. Heck, he came out in one of our locals, the very first one that we've done in PA in 2019. And my man is like the happiest cat in the block. But little that anyone knew, I was the only one that was aware of, what was going on health-wise. And, he and I are positive and will always be like, hey, man, you're going to be all right. You're already healed. Believe it. And, we're pumping each other up. But in the back of my mind, you start thinking, and you're like, man, I don't know how he's feeling, and you try to bring somebody up. So help us, please, walk through that mindset of I'm a stay in it, I'm gonna make it, and I'm gonna focus.
Yeah. That mindset wasn't new. It was a different challenge, and it was the scariest challenge that I've ever been faced with. So when I think about, I mean, even when I think about the reaction to the diagnosis, it was like, yeah, can we deal with this next week? First of all, my initial reaction was, can we deal with this next week? This doesn't appear to be a problem to me, right? I hear your words, but it's not sinking into my heart yet, what's happening. And I came to my senses very quickly and decided to not go on the trip and see the doctors, right? And that was the beginning of this journey. From that time, which was like, I think it was November, and then I met you around January for that event, January, February. And so between diagnosis and that meeting, it was a getting to know what my body felt like process, right? Because I was getting sicker and sicker at the time. And all kinds of things were happening internally as far as not being able to eat properly or being nourished and being anemic and not being able to really move my body in any exertive way without being exhausted. Right. I also had an underlying diagnosis of Epstein-Barr syndrome, and there was compound effects on my skin from discomfort in my skin from a rash that covered my entire body, which helped the diagnosis. But when I was feeling into, I mean, I at that point, I had a pretty firm understanding of like what my body feels like and what my body feels like when something's not right. And I was getting to learn more about myself and how I was responding. Because at that point, I was not in any kind of medical treatment. I was doing everything holistically and through nutrition. And so there was no medical there was no drugs on board, right? And so I had a natural understanding of like what my body was doing at the time. And so to go out to an event like that, to have the energy to go out for an hour, 2 hours, right? Even that, I had to be very aware of my water intake and my food, and like literally what I could eat was like juice, like green juice. I think I got some soup that night, and I tried to eat French fries and I couldn't get them down. Right. So, it was like liquid diets and no energy, running on adrenaline.
And the whole time asking me, do you need help with the chairs? I'm like, you better sit your butt over there and eat some nachos or something, but I'm very, very grateful. Can I steal one last follow-up and I'll pass it to you guys? Have you, during that 2+ years, have you had a moment, like a weakness moment where you felt like you've almost said, maybe this is it, and then you had to like slap yourself and snap out of it? Or was it like a full consistent, I got this, like just because, someone like yourself with your discipline and abilities, we see you as a superhero, right? Like this guy is 24/7, happy, powerful, amazing, great, positive. There's nothing that ever takes him. But for, again, that person who may be feeling bad for themselves right now, is it normal for even the super disciplined to have a moment of weakness, and have you had any?
Yeah, there was moments of weakness daily, right? And not even just the physical weakness. It was, am I gonna get up again and walk with this again today? Because I know myself, and I know what kept me going during that was, my son. Right? What kept me going was my son. So I had all focus. My focus came from, I could check out now because I've about had enough, to there's somebody else that's counting on me.
Right.
And so in those moments, every day in my practice, I'm asking myself, am I going to do this again today? Right? What am I going to create today? And how am I going to face this? It was a while before I stopped fighting it and started facing it. And so there was, how do I face this today and wait for the answer, right? Wow. In those moments of weakness, I turned to my practice. I turned to the spirit. I turned to God, and I said, how do I face this?
Right on.
Tell me what I need to know.
I yield my time to my colleagues.
Uh-oh, she's on mute, so I'll go ahead and take it.
I actually was saying, Cecilia, why don't you go first?
Oh, that's what you were saying. Okay. Aha. Okay, so so here's the thing, man. Let me kind of dive in there real quick. When you first tell me about the first time you got the diagnosis, because I know my diagnosis when I first got it was awakening, but how did it feel and what went through your mind when the doctor sat down and said, hey, here's the deal, here's what's going on with you?
Yeah, so that was a progressive conversation. When I first got a phone call, it was a question, right? We think you have leukemia, right? So that was a guess, and so we need you to see the hematologist was the next recommendation. So I went to see the hematologist, and they said, well, we got to do some tests, and we'll let you know, but it looks like probably some form of lymphoma, some form of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And then we did some more tests, and we took some bone marrow and did some more tests and some CT scans, and did some more tests and looked at some more cells, and people had more questions. And then there was a doctor who thought he knew what was going to happen, and ended up recommending a course of treatment, which I then researched and knew a bit about before he presented it. I've been back up at least 10 of the past years doing cancer research in big pharma. And so I knew the drugs. I was working in immuno-oncology research at the time. And there was quite a bit of vernacular and vocabulary that I was familiar with that I guess they weren't expecting. And so I got to have a lot of conversations. I had a lot of questions. The doctor kicked me out of the practice, and I went to someone who could help me. So there was a time where I was just going to treat it holistically. And then I realized how maybe that wasn't a good idea because of the form of lymphoma, which I had was under attack by. It was all in my blood. It was a blood cancer, and it was central to the spleen and to the lymphatic system and to the liver, and all of those nodes, as I call them, were all swollen, and they hurt. That's a lot of pain. So yeah, I mean that it was like always the question, and then finally they took a lymph node out to get the final diagnosis, the final phenotype. They were just narrowing it down. I took encouragement from we have a path. We know where this is going. We think we have to check it. I mean, I canceled a surgery once and then put it back on. There was all kinds of things going through my mind that were fear-based that also delayed my treatment, right? And so it was like, once we got an answer, they needed a decision from me. Was I going to cooperate? Right? Because I don't want to cooperate. I'm resisting everything because my soul is telling me, I don't know that I want this chemotherapy, this immunotherapeutic, right? That's what it was, right? And I accepted it, and I allowed it, and I just got to reframe it. But it was what I needed. It was what I needed in combination, right? And so it took a while to figure out what it was. And when they finally figured it out, they had a laser pinpoint. This has been the guidelines and the drug for years, which basically cures it. You can't really say that, but 95%, success rate. I said, let's go. But those moments of weakness came in during those infusions, which were a day long. And I, sat with all the side effects, and those were the times where I also, had weak moments where I thought I was going to check out, where I thought it was over during that treatment. I mean, there were people that died in the chair, a few chairs over, a few times, right? And I was there for many hours. And so being witness to that, but also holding that space for I'm here to heal. I used to have these reactions that just shook my entire body. And for a while. So they had to drug me up and put me to sleep, to tolerate.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and do like Ali and throw in a second question.
Yeah.
Before this young lady, the golden child, goes, I got to get one more question in. So we talk about, being in this industry, some of us in sales, some of us in network marketing, some of us in, high, ticket item sales or whatever have you. Right. And these people who are, reading the books and the audios and all this stuff. When we talk about being positive, and then you've been faced in a moment where, again, you're taking life-saving treatment and there's people passing away beside you. And then having the strength to really just say, you know what, they were going through the same treatment as me. They didn't make it. And like you said, that fear sets in, but that under strength, that under thing in you that knows I'll be all right. I'm going to make it through. Talk to us on that, man, because it's a lot of self-talk. Because again, not to highlight me because it's about you, but I know for me to make it through what I made it through, I spoke to myself a lot. And so just talk to us about that. How did you bring yourself out of that, being in a room where hours and hours, of something that is causing pain? And again, I know they had to give you the sleeping deal so you can, take or endure the time. But again, just to know that people are passing away around you, getting the same treatment, and you're taking that same treatment. So talk about the strength you had to have, and what was some of the things you spoke to yourself during that time. And
Anthony, if you can, you got that question locked in?
Yeah.
Don't forget it. You got it locked in? All right, because we got to pay some bills real quick, because that's the cliffhanger that we got to get. Hey, did you know that I Am Dreamable provides a full learning platform academy in order for you to start, grow, or scale a business? Whether you are already an entrepreneur or you are a hopeful one, whether you have a brand that you want to take to the marketplace, I Am Dreamable is available to you right now for an average of $1.50 a day. And you can go right now to iam.media. All the way in the bottom, it's scrolling the whole time. And you too can be a member and 100% start your membership in order to get to starting, growing, or scaling a business. Back to you, Anthony.
Amazing. Thank you. So yeah, that under strength, that's not something that, probably comes natural. That's from practice. And so it was what I did prior to going into the treatment. It's what I did while I was there. It's what part of my practice every day, which is to discipline the mind towards the intention and, the energy that I want to create for my experience. And so my practice, my spiritual practice in the morning, between the energy work and the way that I feed my body and the yoga practice and the movement practice that I have and the prayer and meditation and all the little rituals that I do to prepare my mind and my heart and my body for the day, that's what allows me, to access that level of focus and access that level of vibration, right? Because when we think those thoughts of, I'm going to live and I'm going to get through this, and here's why, and I have purpose, right? And, spending time in the chair also on Zoom with a bunch of positive people also helps too. I'm going into meetings and I'm like, hey, what's up? Going Facebook Live, right? Like living my purpose during the treatments was also helped me focus on, hey, I'm going to be okay. But in those moments, like I told myself, no matter what happens, A, I'm willing to accept if I don't make it. B, that's not an option, right? So in that same thought, I could hold both extremes, right? Like, because I'm either going to suffer terribly, or I'm going to get through beautifully, right? And I'm either going to make it or I'm not. So somewhere in between is, okay, I'm at peace, right, with each of it. And so I had a clearer mind to be able to just stay the course. It's harder to get rattled when the mind and the heart is prepared for something like that.
That's right. Good stuff. Good answer.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I see Elizabeth has a question, and Elizabeth, just so you know, I was leading in that direction too. So we're kind of doubling down. And Anthony, first of all, thank you so much for being here. And I remember in our previous company, your energy and your positivity. And at first I didn't have any idea what you were going through. And then I think you shared it at one point, and that just, it just lit me up, right? And I'll tell you, I went through cancer with both of my parents, and my father had the same type of cancer as you. My mother had 2 different cancers. And one of the things that I observed in what you're sharing, right, is I watched both of them have those moments, right? Those moments where you're just beat up and you're tired and you're not feeling good. I mean, most of us can think about that even with the flu. You get the flu, and at one point you're just like, oh my gosh, right? And that was one of the things that I noticed that was the difference in both of my parents is They would allow themselves to have that moment. They allowed it, right? But they knew that they wanted to be at that spot where you're talking about, where that peace is, where they could hold both things in their hands and be okay with both, right? Now you've had years of, working on that and training on that. But there's a lot of folks out there that are going to run into and encounter situations like this that don't have that training, right? And don't have something to fall back on. Do you have anything that you would share with those people that maybe don't have that quiver, don't have that toolbox, right? Where do they start? If you share on that a little bit.
They start from first the understanding that the healing doesn't come from where they think it does. And so that the option is to choose anything and everything that they believe will help. Right.
Yes.
I say to my students, the medical system is helpful, but they don't have the whole story.
Correct.
And I honor and respect the medical system for what it's contributed to my life experience, and they don't have the whole story, and they need our help. And so holistically, everything is required for healing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And spiritually, the alignment with we're not separate from our creator is how healing happens.
Yes.
The dissolving of separation thinking and understanding that we are all one. It's the first law of the universe. It's the first thing that we get to recognize when we come together in community. It doesn't have to be so esoteric and out there. Guess what? We're all connected and we're all one. And when we realize that we're not separate, we can heal.
Don't get me started now.
Yeah, I know, right? Don't come on now.
You want to pull that out?
This will get too over our head a little bit here in a minute. So no, I'm just messing with you.
I'm being nice.
I always say this, right? When we talk about physicians, they're practicing. Physicians practice, right? So they don't know everything. And so thank you for sharing that, because I feel the same way. We're talking about such a serious, intense issue. But really, in all of life, I think we got to throw all of it at it, right? We throw everything we've got at life.
Everything we've got, and then figure out where to get more.
Yes,
that's right.
That's hey, did you guys just pick up that Debbie Salmons just created a new urban word called intense? You catch it? That's an intense issue. It is officially a word. That is intense. I'm so gonna be using. Did you? That was very intense.
Oh yeah, and it was intentional.
Okay, there you go.
And you know what I love about this too, as well, is that I can tell this is Debbie's little sweet spot. Like having him on the show, Anthony on the show. She's loving every second of this.
Yeah, talk about the medical background that she's had as well. But let us unmute Elizabeth Cousins, if you could, Elizabeth. So Elizabeth Cousins had a little bit of tech issues at the top of the hour, but she is the CEO and owner of I Am Dreamable, the platform that we were talking about. We're so excited to have her. Hopefully your Wi-Fi is treating you a little bit better right now. I know you have a question for Mr. Panzarella, but go for it.
Yeah, I'm very curious. How was your journey like from going from medical medicine to the natural healing journey?
So thank you for that question. And it was a both and for me. I started in 2019 from my spiritual ego that of course I was going to heal myself. I'm a Reiki master, right? Forget it. That's a whole other story, right? That's a whole other story, a whole different awakening that I had to have in order to accept healing into my life, right? So I fought the medical system because I thought I knew too much about it at the time. I spent 17 years in the business. And so what I fought against ended up being something that really helped. And so there was this surrender to both, right? There was no real this or that, right? It was a both and once I surrendered to this could also help, it ended up helping like in a dramatic way. and it opened up space for me to continue to have the energy and the awareness to be doing other things, right? It made me feel better. It really made me feel better while I did my spiritual work and while I did my energy work. And so there was this dance that I had to do inside to even allow that to happen, right? So yeah, the journey was a lesson to me that said, like, pay attention. You don't have the whole story, right? I'm fighting against something that I think is not the whole story, and I'm sitting there reflecting back to myself that I don't have the whole story.
Isn't that interesting how you figured that out? It's like, and I'm glad you're bringing that up. Sometimes we know too much that it plays against us, and when you understand that nothing is absolute and there's so much more that we don't know, though we think we know it all, we only know what is in front of us and what we've seen thus far, but there's so much that we haven't seen yet. Yeah. Anthony, let's talk about Reiki. If you were to give me a GED explanation what it is, right? Like I want my 5-year-old to Sebastian to understand exactly what it is in 30 seconds or less. And then I want to kind of dig a little bit more into the philosophy of it, the methods. And I know it is a sacred practice and you can't really talk about certain areas, but whatever you can share with us will be great, because I think it's a great opportunity for us to get educated, and of course the listeners as well.
All right, I'm going to give you a really quick answer to 3 different audiences. I'll start with the kids. I'll say, Sebastian, do you know when you get a boo-boo or a hurt on your leg and mommy or daddy comes and puts their hands on your leg and it feels better? And I'll say, yeah, of course, right? And I say, well, that's what Reiki is. We can heal each other with our hands. And they immediately get it, right? When someone feels bad around you, you can put your hands on them and you can make them feel better. And they get it, and they do, right? If I'm talking to somebody who's never experienced it before, maybe is curious, I'm going to say that I'm talking to someone in the West here in this country who's never heard of it and says, hey, what's Reiki? And I said, it's a technique for stress reduction, right? Would you like some? Here, sit down right here. We'll do it in a few minutes, right? This is how I built my practice. Just offering it up freely, people to just know what it was. And so, to you guys, what I'll say is, look, Reiki, loosely translated, is soul energy. It's your life force. It's your life force here on this planet, right? And you can plug in to the universal life force called love, right? That's the power source. And that's the power source of Reiki, right? So when we as people, human beings, connect with the higher power of love, call it God, call it spirit, whatever you like, that's the power of Reiki, right? And so we hook up through that oneness. We're all connected by that universal life force, and we can direct it for healing ourselves and others. It's a gentle practice.
Nice.
Sometimes hands-on, sometimes hands-off. It could also be done around the world remotely through intention and focus. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Like we say in the urban cities. That was dope.
Reiki's dope. Reiki's dope. It's so much fun and feels so good.
That way. So now, go ahead, I'll let you.
So real quick, we're looking at the name here. So we see your name, and then we see this master teacher.
Yep.
What's the qualifications to be a master teacher? How long does it take? How many whatever sessions? I mean, what is being a master mean?
Yeah.
Not a YouTube video for those of you who just put master on anything just because you watched it on YouTube. Go ahead, please educate.
A Reiki master teacher is a degree of Reiki. In Japanese, it would be known as the Shihan, or the grand teacher, right? And so I've trained multiple masters, and so I'm a Reiki master teacher. It's a certification, and it's also a choice, right? Because I can get the Reiki master practitioner certification, but if I don't teach and pass on the practice, I am not a Reiki master. And so to be a Reiki master is required that you teach. And it does not mean that I am a master of Reiki. It really means that I teach masters. right? And a master is first a master of himself or herself. And a master is one who practices every day. A master is one that knows they're not going to master the practice and allows Reiki to master them. And to be guided by Reiki and to live a spiritual lifestyle and to live a Reiki lifestyle, which is a whole other conversation. That's what a master teacher does.
And that's
the
amazing.
dojo master, the teacher, the trainer, the facilitator, the leader. That's what a master teacher is.
And Anthony, don't you find, whenever we're trying to master something, we master it by teaching.
By teaching.
That's exactly how we do it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm out there talking to myself every single day because I'm learning the lessons that are coming out of my face.
Yes. Yes. I love that. I absolutely love that. I'm thinking back about, I'm not going to talk about my stuff, but I've got a medical situation too. And I remember when, the doctors told me, and I did two things. And this is what I'm curious about with you is, number one, I said, oh, okay, great. What do I need to do? But then the other half of my brain, I said, okay, I'm going to do what they tell me I can do. But the other half of my brain, I said, this is just what they're telling me I've got, right? They're telling me that. I'm not necessarily accepting the outcome, but I'm going to do everything to prevent it. Does that make sense? And did you have that same type of situation?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, I egotistically didn't take their label cancer, right? It's what they have to describe the condition of the body that I believe is healing itself, right? And if we do the things that support healing, create a healing environment in our body and in our mind, the body can actually just take care of whatever it takes care of, right? And somewhere along the line, it might need a little help. And so there's this, like, this is what they're telling me. And I already know that they don't have the full story. So I'm a little bit like, I'm responsible now, right? I know that I know. And so now I'm responsible for, if I want a different answer, and I always do, I go find it, right? And once I find the perspective that aligns with me, that's where I'm going to go in that direction. So like I encourage lining up with like what the outcome or what the pathway is, right? The outcome is up to us. The outcome is to get at peace with ourselves and to accept that healing and to allow the body to heal itself and do all the things which will create the environment such that it will not welcome those conditions again. And I soften it by not talking about it in terms of diagnosis. It's about conditions in the body, right? And when we came to Earth as human beings, we had the gift to change the conditions inside of our body and such outside of our body. So,
and we've done it when we were younger.
That's what we can do, and that's what has to be done.
Yeah.
So
no.
Go ahead, Ali.
No, I was just gonna ask. Is it? And you can say it's none of my business. Is it okay to tell my wife to stop calling my doctor and snitching on me? So whenever I have like an appointment, I go, and she would literally call the doctor behind my back and say he's gonna say he's perfect and he's healed and he's good, but he has this like skin thing that's bothering him and he keeps itching his chest. Like I go to the doctors and I say I'm perfectly fine. They usually ask, "Why'd you come here?" My wife wanted me to do a checkup, but then they say, "Well, your wife called and she said that this is what she sent you here." So I feel like I'm trying to create my own healing by not professing or manifesting that whatever it is that was a second ago. Is she counter creating or bringing that illness upon me?
No.
He was being nice, babe. If you're watching this, he's just being nice to you.
It's no with a capital no. Here's why, right? Here's why. You only can let in what you allow in, right? If you don't accept
guilty
what she's bringing into the space, right? You ain't gonna let it in. So don't worry about her. She's got your best interest at heart. That's the way
you're playing that card.
She knows how to do it. Right?
You're playing that card. He loves my wife.
Yeah,
he loves my wife. We hang out before. Like he knows what he's doing. Right? He's like, I am. He's like, this
all
was
the
a
wives.
layup for
all
me.
the wives, all the partners, right?
There
Yes.
you go.
If
Yeah.
they are calling the doctor because they know that you're maybe a little too casual about it. Listen,
Right.
it was my beloved who made me go to the doctor to check out the skin.
Same here.
Listen,
Same here.
this, I didn't even want to look at it. I'm healthy. I'm great. I was going to the functional medicine doctor for all the supplements to optimize the body that I was building at that point, right? I didn't want to hear word one about I'm sick. I got a rash, and my partner said, "Baby, you got to go get some blood work. Will you please get some blood work?" And I said, "I will." And that's just we can't replace that if you have that.
All right, let's
So-
switch up. Let's switch up gear and talk about, you just opened a brand new facility and you got so many things that are expanding. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so I have partnered in a healing collective, and we opened up a space in nearby in Malvern, Pennsylvania. So we have a few healing rooms. We've got some workshop space. We've got different kinds of practitioners, and I'm just one of those practitioners. I teach Reiki. I also do healing sessions, one-on-one mentorships at all levels, practitioner through master teacher. And I run over there to just do my work and teach, and also bring community together, right? So like my vision in the One Love Healing Arts Collective, it's one of my Facebook groups. What we do is we bring together all of Anthony's favorite practitioners, right? So part of my healing was like all the beautiful services that I received from like a lot of my friends, a lot of people that I've taught, people that I've worked with, people that I've learned from. And I just created this sort of web of beautiful people in this group. And, my mission is to bring more healers out into the community and like make sure people know that we're available, and like that this work that we do with the spirit and the emotions and the energy, like it's important work. Like I feel like everybody should know about Reiki and energy work like they know about yoga and working out. I mean, it's just part of what we can do as humans to keep ourselves well and healthy and to get through trauma, tragedy, and where we need empowerment. So my mission really is to like put collectives of people in different cities. I'm in Columbus now. I expanded my studio. I have a partner, Alicia Scott, out there that does what I do, plus I call it. And so there's some beautiful work being done in Ohio, between Pennsylvania and Ohio, and really all around the country. That was Alicia right there. That's my partner. She does some amazing things, my business partner. So she's out in Columbus, but we work with each other remotely and we teach each other. We are just a group of people who love to love on people, who love to serve, who love to teach, who love to bring our gifts so that people feel well, right? Like I say, Reiki is the secret art of inviting happiness into your life, but it's really the secret art of choosing happiness. That decision to go through cancer was about choosing my life and about choosing to be happy regardless of circumstance, to get rid of the worry, the anger, the pain, resentment, and regret, right? And be grateful for what I have right now in this moment, which is a choice, right? And that choice is to live and do everything possible to support life. And that's what the One Love Healing Arts Collective is, right? There is only one, and that power is love, and it's for healing. And we express that through the arts collectively, right? Like if I had to break that down, that's what that's for. And so now we have a physical space where we can grow and come together and do more.
Nice.
That was powerful, by the way, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. Is there a website or a way that people can connect with you, or should we just refer everybody?
Yeah, you can connect with me at risereikidojo.com. You can either book a session or submit a request to book or have my time. We can do I always offer a 30-minute consultation to talk about whatever's on your heart. I customize everything, all the work, all the training, all the sessions. You can come to me for anything from practitioner levels all the way to what we call Karuna Master Teacher Training, which we call like the PhD of Reiki. So I'm teaching all those levels, and I'm training trainers to train other trainers. That's what I'm passionate about. Each one teach one.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you visit risereikidojo.com. Obviously, look for Mr. Panzarella, a Reiki master teacher, and connect in every single way possible. Whether you're listening to this on our audio podcast, whether you are seeing this on a replay, whether it is blasted on a blog, wherever it is, this is a gentleman who brings a lot of love, a lot of happiness, a lot of healing. And I don't want to hoard him anymore just to myself. He is all yours, and you can definitely take advantage for him. We have a few segments that are coming up from our strategic partners. Mr. Anthony Panzarella, any last remarks that you have for that one person that is listening and watching right now and is saying, this sounds great and all, well, but it still sounds a little bit on the woo-woo world out there. What is your message to that one person? And I know it's going to be still a loving message. What is that message for that one person?
I would say to that person, how do you know, right? Unless you try it. Ask my students, ask my clients if it's woo-woo, and they should speak for themselves. Yeah,
there you go.
I would say try it out. Always try the new thing out, especially that which you may not know about. Right? We fear what we don't know, so we should try it.
It's so true. I remember the first time I heard Bob Proctor say, you've been doing it your way, and clearly you came here to this seminar because something isn't working. So why don't you just give it one day our way and see what actually changes in your life? So I'm so grateful for that. Definitely hang with us for a little bit. We're not telling you got to leave, so just hang with us. But I definitely want to go to Miss Salmons, as she has an incredible segment that we call Living in Balance, that she's going to be just giving and sharing a little bit of her own personal wisdom on how she maintains life balance in business, in personal, and everything that she does in between. So here it is, the one and only Debbie Salmons.
Hey, thanks so much, you guys. And I love it when this happens because I was really thinking about, balance, and we've covered a lot of areas. So before I even knew who our guest was, one of the things I decided to talk about was fear and faith, right? Which I just love it. I love it when that happens. And, kind of like steps to overcome your fears and to strengthen your faith, right? Now, I happen to be a Christian and I believe in God, but that it doesn't matter, right? Whatever you believe in, right? I was told once that all I needed to know about God was that I wasn't it, right? So you can choose who you want. But, fear and faith, the polar opposites, right? But fear is really a serious subject. We're listening to Anthony. Now, he had his moments. I had my moments with some of my diagnoses. There's a little bit of fear, but sometimes fear comes from two different areas. It comes from our past, previous experiences, or it becomes because fear of the unknown, right? And we tend to imagine the worst. Gosh, this is just amazing to me. This coincidence or not coincidence, right? We have the fear of an uncertainty, the uncertain future of our life. Where's it going to go? Fears of failure, all of those things. But human beings tend to project negatively. So what Anthony's sharing with you and what we all try to share with you on a regular basis is controlling what we're projecting, right? Control what we're projecting to the positive, right? So first thing you have to do is identify your fear. What is it that you're afraid of, right? I have had times in my life where I've been afraid and I'm not even sure why. So you have to think about it and you have to figure out and dig down. What is it that you're really afraid of? And truly, in Anthony's situation and in my parents, they had to discuss death, right? And what is it that we fear about death? So it's a very uncomfortable topic for a lot of people. And often until we're faced with the absolute reality, we don't discuss or analyze that. So the first thing you have to do is figure out what you're afraid of. The second thing is you've got to trust God or whomever, the universe, with your fears, right? If you're a control freak like I used to be, that's difficult to trust outside of us, right? But we also have to trust ourselves like Anthony did, to know his body, right? To trust his body, to trust that he knew. And then in his moment of weakness, he went to prayer. So does the fear just dissipate? For some people it is. But seek that faith over fear in prayer, in meditation, whatever you use, throw everything at it to get through that fear to the other side where you now have faith, right? And there's a quote I want to share with you. I read a book. It happens to be called Jesus is Calling. And I always thought this was interesting. It says, we often glance at God, right? We give a glance, but we gaze at our circumstances, right? And I've got in my own life, I had to flip it. It's backwards. I had to learn to constantly gaze and look at God, and only occasionally look at my problems. And that helps fear to fade away, right? So to keep that balance in your life, pay attention to what you're gazing at. What are you staring at? All of these things are the same, right? Where our focus goes, energy flows, right? So my hopes for you guys, and what I hope you'll do, is with faced situations that are scary, that cause fear in us, do everything you can to look at faith and God and wherever you can get it. And that's what Anthony has just described that he did. I watched my parents do that, and I try to walk that same journey. So thank you so much, Ali. Back to you.
Right on, right on, right on. That was beautiful. We really, really, truly appreciate that. And yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And real quick, before we pass it on to the man on the man, just want to remind everybody at the top of the hour, not the 7 p.m. Eastern, but the 8 p.m. Eastern, yours truly and our strategic partners are doing a hot seat session tonight with the 4 of us. So you're definitely going to want to come out. And if you are a member, we're going to talk about why are you not overcoming those limited beliefs, and really dissect from deep within how we can help you through our own experiences and journey so you too can have the success that you deserve and or desire. Now, with that, ladies and gentlemen, bring before you a motivational gentleman that absolutely understands resilience, absolutely understands persistence, consistency, passion, perseverance. You think of it, you name it, you think of this gentleman, and he goes by Takoya Carlton, and this is a motivational moment.
Hey, what's up, fam? Takoya Carlton here, and again, it's a motivational moment. I'm going to actually be very quick today because I want you to really get it. But at the same time, listen, if I'm going too fast, you're just listening too slow. Okay, just remember that. So again, we're going to talk about the 13 reminders. Okay, so the first thing is the past is the past. Focus on the future. And I love what I'm going to talk about today because it kind of coincides with what Anthony was talking about today, right? So again, the past is the past. Focus on the future. Number 2, opinions do not define reality. Remember that. Your opinions do not define reality, right? And so again, number 3, everyone's journey is different. Number 4, time is essence of the healing. See, guys, for those who have went through something, gone through something, right, or getting ready to go through something, understand time is what heals everything, right? Number 5, judgment is a confession of character. So understand that as we judge ourselves, we judge other people, that's a definition, right? That's a confession of your character. Number 6, overthinking will lead you to paralysis by analysis, right? Paralysis by analysis, right? So again, overthinking will lead to paralysis and sadness, right? They coincide. So don't overthink. And then, of course, number 7, happiness is an inside job found within. So again, happiness is an inside job found within. So again, for those who are going through something right now and you just can't figure it out, right? And you're looking for supporting cast, right? That's great. That's fine. That's dandy. But at the same time, guys, you've got to find it within yourself to find that happiness, that inner thing, that inner you, that inner being that says, you know what, I can, I will, and I'm gonna make it happen, right? And then, of course, guys, number 8, positive thoughts create positive actions. So again, we asked Anthony in the beginning, you know, what were you thinking? What are some of the things you were talking about? What did you say to yourself, right? How did you speak to yourself, right? So those are the things, guys, that help you get through all the things that you're going through. So sometimes you have to be your best cheerleader, right? You've got to cheer you on. You've got to, bring that something within you out. So again, guys, that's what bringing happiness out, guys, is by you finding that inner you within you. And then, of course, guys, there can be, outside people who add to it. But again, you must find it within yourself. And so again, number 9, guys, smiles are contagious. We watched Anthony as he was doing this. Sometimes, guys, like right now, it's a solo shot on me. But if you can see the screen on our side, you see Anthony right now smiling. Why? Because it's contagious. And I'm pretty sure everyone else is smiling on the screen. But here's the thing, guys. Sprinkle kindness is free. So again, guys, sprinkle kindness is free. You don't have to ask anyone for permission. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no repercussions from it other than other people getting that same fulfillment that you're spreading, which is kindness. Then, of course, guys, number 11, you only fail if you quit. Do not try. So again, there was a young man, actually wasn't young. He was probably a couple 100 years old. His name was Yoda. Yoda said, only do, don't try, right? He said, only do, there is no try. And then one of my other mentors, as I was growing up in the industry of home-based business, he used to say, he used to say, if you're trying, you're not trying. You're not, there is no try, right? If you're trying, you're not doing enough, right? That's not a commitment. Trying is not a commitment. You must do, okay? And then, of course, number 12, what goes around comes around, right? Some people may say that's karma, right? But again, what goes around comes around. And then, of course, number 13, the quicker you choose to move forward, the quicker the suffering ends. I think that's really huge. The quicker, and again, this goes back to our conversation today. Anthony talked about it, right? He talked about, again, holding that ego thing where it's like, hey, I understand it. I know what to do. I've been here, man. I've been studying for years. They call me a master. I got this. But at the same point, he understood at some point, right, that he had to get out of himself. And when he figured that out, it made the transition that more smoothly go for him. And of course, he was here today to have this conversation with us. And of course, spend more time with his incredible son. See, guys, that's the stuff that we talk about. Those are the 13 reminders. So again, guys, if you're looking to, better yourself, you're looking to increase what it is that you need to within yourself in order to make it better for you and the people that you surround yourself with, you have to get, in touch with who you are. You have to be, okay with where you are, but also not just staying there, but also growing from there. So again, here's where I'm at right now. I don't mind being a student. I don't mind being educated. I don't mind getting on a show like this. I don't mind, figuring out. So like there's stuff I don't know. I want to learn it so that I can become the best me. And so again, I want to send that out to you guys. And hopefully I didn't go too far. Okay, 701. Okay, we good. So again, guys, here's the thing. So again, do what you have to so you can have and do and be who you want to be, right? So again, guys, it's been a pleasing pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys at the top, from the top, or over the top. Take care, take charge, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care, take charge. Takoya Carlton, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, as we're coming down to the bottom of the show, I definitely want to hear from our CEO, Elizabeth Cousins. If you can unmute any takeaways that you've had from today's episode. Elizabeth is going to be a frequent flyer within the show. You're going to see her sometimes. You're going to see her not sometimes. But she definitely gave us the privilege to have her here today. Give us some of your takeaways that you've had from today's episode.
So Anthony, I just want to say I was really inspired by you because something that really hit home for me was that don't let people put labels on you and don't let them tell you that you're not going to make it in any way, whether that's a medical condition, whether that's a dream that you're going after, because you can do anything if you put your mind to it. You are what you think. And as I say, if it's dreamable, it's achievable. So thank you.
If it's dreamable, it's achievable. And of course, being that he is our honorary guest for today's episode, Anthony, we definitely like to give you the last 30 seconds for any closing remarks and walk us out, my friend.
I close the room at the same time every time. You can close your eyes and just know the secret to happiness is just for today. Do not release your anger into the world. Do not worry. Walk by faith. Be grateful for the opportunities and the challenges. Be in integrity with your work. And be kind. That's all there is.
And cashews.
And cashews.
There you go.
That's
Don't
being
forget.
kind, my friend. That's being kind to you.
I appreciate you. Hey, thank you so much, everybody, for giving us the opportunity. We appreciate you. Make sure you visit us at im.media if you want to start, grow, scale business, if you want to have a PR campaign, if you want to be a sponsor of the show, if you want to have anything to do in collaboration. We are many. We are all over, and we're definitely here to serve. Hey, everybody, tell them peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
See y'all later.